comes up a lot, especially with home buyers, is what is title insurance, Andrew? You know, if I have homeowner's insurance, why do I also need title insurance? And whenever I'm meeting with sellers are like, Andrew, why do I got to pay for title insurance if I already own this home? It's a great question. Let's take a closer look at what you need to know about title insurance. My name is Andrew Finney, and my passion is to help you make sense of real estate. If you need help finding a top agent near you, or if you simply want to drop me a line to say hello, my contact info is below. If you're new here, please go and subscribe to this channel now and like this video. Thank you. All right, my friend, in this video, you're going to learn 10 core aspects about title insurance that you really should know, and you're going to be better prepared for success tomorrow. So the first thing is, what is title insurance? Perhaps title insurance is best defined as a policy that protects property owners and lenders from losses that could result from disputes over ownership of a property's title. Basically, you want to make sure that the seller truly has the right to sell a piece of property, and that when the transaction closes, that you as a home buyer would actually own it. Title insurance is extremely important because it protects you from title hazards that could threaten the financial investment that you made by purchasing your home and any other property. It also protects the lender's investment as well. Now, I would like to share a case in point with you from real estate practice that happened in 2019. I was working with a really wonderful couple. They found this house. We found it together. Obviously, we were out there looking at homes, and they're like, hey, Andrew, this is the right home for us. This is the house that we want. So I was like, okay, cool. Let me call the listing agent, see what the situation is with this property. Now, whenever I called the listing agent, all I was expecting was that, here, do you have any offers? Is the seller negotiable on the price? Is the seller open-minded towards paying any buyer closing costs and stuff? Kind of filling out the situation, just standard stuff that I do for my clients. But the listing agent said, so Andrew, I just wanted you to know that we are actually in litigation right now trying to clear a title insurance issue. I said, oh, really? Tell me about that. What happened? Well, you see, this was a property that was foreclosed on back when the market collapsed. And since it resides in an HOA, there's somebody saying that they also own this property that bought it from an HOA lien sale. And I said, well, okay, how are we going to clear this up? I said, why wasn't this cleared up before you guys went on the market? Well, the attorney said that we should be able to clear this up in like 30 to 45 days. If you write out a close of escrow, 45 days, the seller is going to be highly workable to help out with your client, and we can put together a good deal. So I said, okay. I called my title reps and I say, hey, you know what? There's a cloud on this title for this specific property. Could you begin investigating the situation here and let me know how this is going to go down? And those ladies, very, very sweet ladies, actually went right to work on making that happen. Then I went back to my buyers and I said, hey, here's the situation. There's a cloud on title, and what the cloud on title means is there is a defect with the title that's preventing it from being able to be transferred from the seller to you in a marketable and insurable way, which, taking all their real estate and legalese perhaps out of it, simply means they can't give it to you for you to own it outright until this other situation is cleared up. And they said, oh, do you think it can get cleared up? I said, you know, in 150 real estate career closings in the last 6 years, I've never seen it. I've never come across this before. It'll be exciting. It's up to you whether you choose to proceed. If you do, let me know. We'll go ahead and write the offer, put the deal together, or should we just go out and find another house? Well, they said to me, Andrew, you know what? We really feel like this is the right place and we want to move forward. What should we do? I said, well, that's obviously your decision. If you want to write an offer, let's do it. If you prefer to hang out and wait and see what else comes on the market over the next few days, we can do that too. I said, this is about you making a well-informed decision that's right for you, and this is the situation. And they said, okay, well, we want to go ahead and do it. I said, okay, cool. So we put this deal together, and long story short, that attorney that they were working with wasn't able to transfer or help the client clear the title by day 45. And my clients even hung out until about day 60 before I'd actually, as a trusted real estate advisor, talked to the attorney a few times about the situation, talked to the listing agent about it, talked to the title officers about it, and there was no way in heck it looked like that seller was going to be able to transfer. So you can see that is a very real world example of how a real estate transaction blew up, in the sense that my buyers, I shared with them, I said, as a professional trusted real estate advisor, I'm suggesting that you give strong consideration to backing out of this, because there is no definitive time in mind according to the attorney. They're saying this could take 3 months, 6 months, but then if the judge does this, that does that, then it could take a year. And I said, it depends on you. If you want to wait it out 3, 6 months or a year, let me know. At the same time, you need to make that decision of what you want to do so that we can go ahead and prime our mindset for what we're going to be doing with this specific property. Client said, Andrew, I'm out. Get me out of this. And I said, great. So we got the earnest money deposit back, we canceled the escrow, and we went and found them another house, and they closed in 23 days on the new house with no problems. Where I'm going with this is title insurance is that important. So whenever you get ready to list a property, if you're a listing agent watching this right now, make sure you're getting with your title company to get a preliminary title report. If you own your house and you think that there might be a lien on your property, let your trusted real estate advisor know. Make sure that you have free and clear title, and go ahead and get with the title officer now just to go through the documents with you. If it's been a while since you've seen your preliminary title report, then get with one, review it, get with your trusted real estate advisor, make sure everything is good to go for you. The second thing to know is, what is an owner's policy? An owner's policy is a form of insurance that guarantees that a buyer has the right to the property, meaning they legally own it. From our story a moment ago that I was sharing with you, the buyer could not be able to buy it because you could not get title insurance. You could not get an owner's title insurance. So that's a case in point of how that really hits home with an example. It usually covers the cost of any legal fees that arise if you have to defend your claim. So having an owner's policy is extremely important because it'll protect you in the future. So an owner's title policy is there to protect the buyer that says, yes, I have the right to the property. I own this property. This title company, XYZ Title, provided me with an owner's policy. So I have right to this property, and it'll help cover you if anybody try to challenge your claim to that property. The third thing to know is, what is a lender's policy? Perhaps one of the best ways to look at this is from the vantage point as though you were the lender. A lender's title policy is going to protect the bank from another lending institution that issues a buyer's mortgage from any losses resulting from disputes over who owns the property. The policy will cover the amount of the loan, and the cost is based on the amount of that loan. Most lenders will require this coverage, which ends when the mortgage is paid off. The fourth thing to know is, do you have to pay a monthly premium for your title insurance? In short, no. What will happen at a real estate closing is that the policy itself will be paid for at the time of closing. The coverage will be in the person's name that is on title for that property. That coverage will last for as long as you own that property. Until you transfer it into someone else's name, you're covered. The fifth thing to know is, what does a title insurance policy cover? There are 8 core things that it covers. The first one is fraud associated with title ownership. The second are any liens existing against the property at the time the policy was issued. The third are mistakes in the public record that are not caught before the time of sale. The fourth are inaccurate or conflicting wills and trust related to the title. The fifth are any missing heirs who suddenly appear and claim to own the property. The sixth is forged or misfiled deeds and other documents. The seventh are any errors or flaws in the title that are not discovered in the initial title examination through like a preliminary title report, and then as the title officer deep dives into a more thorough examination. The eighth is a lender's title insurance covers the amount of the mortgage loan and protects the lender's interest in the property if any of the first 7 things we've identified were to occur. The sixth thing to know is, who is going to pay for the title insurance? Now, this really depends on where you are in the United States. You'll want to talk to your trusted real estate advisor, and if you want to chat directly with an escrow officer or a title officer, ask them to have one call you, because it really is different from area to area. You could have customs in your state or in your county or in your city that say that the seller is going to pay it, or in some areas of the country, it may be customary that a buyer pays it. Like here in Las Vegas, Nevada, well, guess what? The seller is going to be paying for it because they need to make sure that they can actually transfer the property that they're selling. It's a seller's responsibility here in Nevada to ensure that they have insurable, marketable, free and clear title to transfer to a prospective home buyer. Probably find that's a lot the same across the country, but when in doubt, what should we do? Simply pick up the phone, ask your trusted real estate advisor, get in touch with a title officer if you want to deep dive into it anymore, and know who's going to pay for it. Just varies depending on where you are. The seventh thing to know is, what is a title search? Perhaps the best way to explain what a title search is simply a process to make sure the seller is the legal owner of the property and there aren't any outstanding claims against the property. It's that simple. That's a title search. The eighth thing is, how are rates for title insurance determined? It's a great question. Essentially, we're going to be looking at across all 50 states again. Each of the 50 states are going to have their own rules, their own laws that define how much a title company can charge for the rates. Get with your trusted real estate advisor, ask them to get in touch with a title company if you like, because a lot of us trusted real estate advisors have what's called a rate book in our hand or have access to a title officer that asks them how much it's going to cost. When you get ready to list a property, your trusted real estate advisor would have ideally provided what's called an estimated net proceeds sheets where they're breaking down the cost to sell. One of them being your title insurance. So get with them to get that information where you live. That brings us to point 9, which is how much is the title insurance going to cost? Now this gets a little bit interesting because the title insurance cost itself is different than the rate. And the title insurance cost itself is going to be dependent upon how much money that property is being sold for. Everything will be calculated off of the ultimate sales price of the home in relation to how much that title insurance policy will cost. And the 10th thing to know is, are title insurance policies really that different depending on where you go in the cost? Yes. They're going to come down into the state, they're going to go down into the zip code, and it's going to be depending on which title insurance company you're working with. Now, you will want to have this conversation with your trusted real estate advisor when you get ready to sell your home. And if it's customary in your area as a home buyer that you would be paying for the title insurance policy, please, again, get with your trusted real estate advisor. It's critically important, whether you're a home seller or a home buyer, to understand the closing costs that you're going to be paying for either selling your house or buying your house. Make sure that you ask for a breakdown from your loan officer if you're buying a house. Make sure that you ask for a breakdown from your trusted real estate advisor if you're getting ready to sell your house. And when you get into the closing process itself, you can get with your trusted real estate advisor, the title officer, escrow officer, whatever the situation may be, and ask them for what's called an estimated settlement statement. In the estimated settlement statement, they'll be able to break down a very close approximation of what will be paid, whether you're on the buying side or the selling side, so you're better prepared when the time comes at the end of the closing process. You'll know where all that money is gone and what it covered. So now that you know more about title insurance, let's go over homeowners insurance and what you should know, and what you should know about a preliminary title report. Looking forward to our next conversation. We'll see you in a few.